Are you ready for 5 questions to test your anatomy knowledge? Please stop the video if you need time to think. I certainly don't expect you to be able to answer all the questions immediately, as I am making them trickier. Question 1. What are these group of muscles collectively known as, and what are the names of the individual muscles in this group? Oh, and what's their nerve supply? Question 2. Where does the obturator nerve arise from? Where does it go? And which muscles does it supply? Question 3. What are the boundaries of the posterior triangle of the neck? Question 4. What is the name of these structures and what is their blood supply? That's a tricky one. Question 5. Which 4 arteries and 3 veins are found in the superior mediastinum? The answers. So question 1. This group of muscles are known as the Hypothenar muscles, and they include the opponens digiti minimi, flexor digiti minimi brevis, and the abductor digiti minimi. And they are all supplied by the deep branch of the ulnar nerve. Question 2. The obturator nerve is formed by the anterior divisions of the anterior primary rami of L2, 3 and 4. It is formed within the psoas major muscle and it emerges from its medial border and passes over the pelvic brim behind the common iliac vessels onto the lateral wall of the pelvis and over the fibres of the muscle of obturator internus, where it passes through the obturator foramen to enter the thigh. The nerve then divides into anterior and posterior divisions which straddle each side of adductor brevis. The anterior division goes on to supply adductor longus, adductor brevis, gracilis, and sometimes a little bit of pectineus. It also supplies the skin on the medial aspect of the thigh and halfway down the leg. The posterior division of the obturator nerve supplies obturator externus and the adductor portion of adductor magnus. Question 3. The boundaries of the posterior triangle of the neck are as follows. The anterior boundary is formed by the posterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The posterior boundary is the anterior border of trapezius. The base of the triangle is formed by the middle third of the clavicle, and the apex on the triangle is the superior nuchal line, where the sternocleidomastoid and the trapezius muscles meet each other. The roof is made of the investing layer of deep cervical fascia. The floor of the posterior triangle is the prevertebral fascia, which actually overlies a series of muscles, which from superior to inferior are the splenius capitis, levator scapulae, scalenus medius, and scalenus anterior, and the first digitation of serratus anterior. Question 4. These are the suprarenal, or also known as the adrenal glands, and they are found sitting on top of each kidney. For such tiny little glands, they have an extensive blood supply from 3 different sources, and these are the superior, the middle, and the inferior suprarenal arteries. The suprarenal artery, or the superior suprarenal artery, is a branch of the inferior phrenic artery, which is in turn a branch of the lateral aspect of the abdominal aorta. The middle suprarenal arteries arise directly from the lateral aspect of the aorta, but the inferior suprarenal artery is a branch of the renal artery, which arises from, you guessed it, the lateral aspect of the abdominal aorta. Question 5. The superior mediastinum is the region found between the thoracic outlet, which is an imaginary line at the top of the manubrium extending backwards to the vertebrae, and the inferior boundary of the superior mediastinum is another imaginary line that extends posteriorly from the junction of the manubrium and the body of the sternum. So the borders of the superior mediastinum are formed by two imaginary lines. The superior mediastinum is a busy place and contains four arteries, which are the ascending an arch of the aorta and its three branches, which in turn are the brachiocephalic artery, the left common carotid artery, and the left subclavian artery. The three veins in the superior mediastinum include the left brachiocephalic vein, the right brachiocephalic vein, and the superior vena cava. So how did you do this week? If you liked our quiz, share it with your friends. And remember, it's Friday, so stay funky!
Your anatomy matters.